In 2017, a company made you an offer that sounded like a typo. Pay $9.95 a month and see a movie in theaters every single day. Not one a month, every day. In a big city, that was less than the price of a single ticket. So people signed up. In about a year, nearly 3 million of them. And then they did something the company apparently didn't plan for. They actually went to the movies. Because here's the thing. Every time you saw a film, MoviePass paid the theatre full price for your ticket and collected almost nothing. The more you used it, the more money it lost. So this company had the one problem most businesses dream about: too many happy customers, and treated it like a 5-alarm fire. It didn't need more people using it, it needed you to stop. And eventually, it would quietly make sure you did. Now, you probably remember this as a dumb idea. $10 for unlimited movies, of course it died. But that's the part everyone remembers, and it isn't the real story. MoviePass wasn't just a bad business. According to the US government, it was a fraud, and one of the first cases prosecutors would ever call AI washing. If you heard that phrase on this channel last time, you're about to learn it's a lot older than the headlines suggest. Start at the beginning, because the beginning actually made sense. MoviePass was founded back in 2011 by an entrepreneur named Stacy Spikes. The early version was modest. You paid somewhere around $30 to $50 a month, a real price for a real service. It was never a sensation. After years of grinding, it had only about 20,000 subscribers. But the math basically worked. Remember that. Then, in 2017, a publicly traded company called Helios and Matheson bought control of MoviePass. Its chief executive, Ted Farnsworth, wanted a hit. He installed a new MoviePass CEO, Mitch Lowe, a veteran of Netflix and Redbox. And together, they did the one thing the founder had warned against. They cut the price to $9.95. Overnight, MoviePass went from 20,000 subscribers to millions. It looked like a rocket ship. But underneath was a problem you could see from orbit. MoviePass paid theaters the full price of every ticket. And the head of AMC, the biggest chain in the country, actually did the math out loud on an earnings call. MoviePass, he said, was paying his theaters about $12 a ticket. And the average subscriber was using it almost 3 times a month. $12, 3 times over, that's more than $30 of movies for a customer paying $9.95 for the whole month. Every active user lost the company money. So getting bigger didn't fix the problem. Getting bigger was the problem. Which raises the obvious question: if the core product lost money on purpose, why do it? Here's the real story. MoviePass wasn't being run as a movie company. It was being run as a stock. Every time the subscriber numbers spiked, the parent company's shares spiked with them. At the peak, the stock hit nearly $39. The losses didn't matter, as long as the story kept the stock climbing. When critics warned the price was doomed, Lowe waved them off. They don't understand our business model, he said. And every good stock story needs a reason it'll all pay off eventually. MoviePass had one. The executives told investors not to worry about the ticket math because the company was already making money another way. They claimed the parent company possessed big data and, you'll appreciate this, artificial intelligence systems quietly analyzing and monetizing the data of millions of moviegoers. According to the Justice Department, that was false. They knew the company had no such technology. And that claim is exactly why, years later, prosecutors would call this one of their first AI washing cases. The same magic word, a different decade. For a while, the story held. And then, 2018 happened. As the losses ballooned, MoviePass started doing increasingly strange things to its own customers. It rolled out surge pricing, charging you an extra $2 to $6 to see the popular movies at the popular times. It blocked big new releases for their first 2 weeks. And then it got stranger. On July 26th, 2018, the app simply stopped working. Subscribers couldn't check in. The official line was a technical issue. The real reason, revealed in a regulatory filing, was that MoviePass had run out of cash to pay its own ticket processors. The outage landed during the opening weekend of one of the summer's biggest movies. To switch the service back on, the parent company borrowed $5 million overnight, agreeing to pay back more than $6 million for the favor. To cling to its NASDAQ listing, the company crammed 250 old shares into one, a desperate reverse split. And here's the part the Justice Department laid out in detail. Behind the scenes, the executives directed employees to stop their heaviest users from using the service at all. They throttled the app. They forced high-volume customers to reset their passwords. They made people re-verify tickets. A company you were paying every month was quietly working to keep you from getting the thing you paid for. People remember all of this as the chaotic flailing of a company in trouble. It was really something simpler. This is what it looks like when a business that was never built to work finally collides with reality and tries to hide that from its customers and its investors at the very same time. After that, the numbers tell it. MoviePass lost more than $150 million in 2017 alone, running a deficit of over $20 million a month. The stock that once touched nearly $39 collapsed toward pennies, and then toward nothing. The company flailed for any way out. It poured money into producing movies, including a John Travolta mob film that flopped. It had bought the old MoviePhone service. In the end, MoviePhone was sold off for just $1 million. MoviePass shut down in 2019. Its parent company went bankrupt. Hundreds of millions of dollars gone. Around 3 million subscribers left with nothing but a dead app on their phones. And then the reframe becomes official. In 2022, federal prosecutors indicted Ted Farnsworth and Mitch Lowe. The charge wasn't bad business, it was securities fraud. Prosecutors said the two men knew, privately, that the $9.95 unlimited plan was a temporary marketing gimmick, while publicly swearing it was tested, sustainable, and profitable to pump the stock. Both men pleaded guilty. Lowe in 2024, Farnsworth in 2025. The government estimated the scheme caused around $303 million in losses, though Lowe argued it was less. As of this video, both were awaiting sentencing. So here's the lesson. And if it sounds familiar, that's the entire point. Every bubble has a magic word that makes smart people stop asking the only question that matters. How do you actually make money? In 2018, that word was data. Don't worry about the losses, we'll monetize the data. A few years later, the magic word became AI. Don't worry about the losses, we'll automate it with AI. Different decade, identical trick. A business that loses money on every sale wrapped in a shiny story about a payday that's always just around the corner. MoviePass is what that looks like when it ends in a courtroom. But there's one more turn. Remember Stacy Spikes, the founder who built the sensible version, warned that $9.95 was unsustainable and got pushed out for it? In 2021, he bought MoviePass back out of bankruptcy for a tiny fraction of what it was once worth. He relaunched it, this time with no unlimited plan and math that actually adds up. The person who was right all along got his company back. He just had to wait for everyone who didn't listen to drive it into the ground first. If you watched our last episode, the AI company whose impossible promise hid the same kind of story, you've now seen this exact trick run twice, in 2 different decades. It will happen again. The magic word will just change. Subscribe, and we'll be here when it does. This has been Rise and Ruin. Thanks for watching.